Hello, everybody, and welcome once again. I haven't done an upload in a minute. That's stuff I told myself that I'm gonna be more consistent. But well, I did upload. I just don't publicize them anymore. So I'm wondering if I should just put them out and let people find them naturally, or I should talk about it. But that's not here nor there. As you can see with the image up, we got Christianity, Judaism, Islam. I'd hope they would have added more. That's an image made from ChatGPT. It's easy to tell at this point. I'm lazy and I'm kind of growing. I like it towards prompt engineering. And I'm recording this on my 25th birthday, Silver Jubilee, as my friend told me. And this is a week where I think more than usual, I've been struggling with faith in the sense of internal debates and what's going on in my life. And like, in terms of faith, what am I really doing and everything. Long story short, most people know me, probably baptized Christian, Methodist Christian, kind of felt cool and went hardcore atheist for the longest time, kind of softened my stance on religion, became kind of like religiously agnostic, which is I acknowledge the possibility of there being a higher being or higher beings, but I do not know. So I tried to live my life as best as I could. Time goes on, and all of a sudden I get obsessed with money and success, and I'm like, who makes more money? And I know this is a very stereotypical thing. I'm like, who are more well off? And I was like, let me see why is this particular group of people more well off? And I kind of learned more about the people, learned more about the history of the people, and I was like thoroughly impressed, to be honest. So the point I was like, oh my god, this is that. And I kind of softened my stance even more the more I learned about Judaism and the Jews and the culture, the fundamentalism. I was like, oh, this is. I never went this deep into this. So I grew very fond of Judaic teachings, be it Torah teachings, Talmudic teachings, rabbinic teachings. In the sense, probably one of my most favorite Talmudic uh, sages is when one passes away and they go to the heavens, they get to face a council, and the council will ask them questions. And the very first question they'll be asked is, Nasasovi Nastaba Bimuna. I hope I pronounced that right. Nasasovi Nastaba Bimuna. Were you honest in business? Did you perform your business dealings with dignity? Were your weights of measurement honest? And anybody who knows Judaism, not Judaism, Hebrew knows that Imuna also means faith, faith in God. So you can't really have faith in God and still try to twist the scales to your end. That just defeats the purpose. And it's one of the things that I looked at and I was like, oh my God, this is very beautiful. These are very beautiful teachings. Like I was quite moved. And I was still looking to learn more about Judaism, rabbinic Judaism, and all that stuff. And I don't know, man. I'm slightly embarrassed to say this one, but I'm slightly embarrassed to say this one, but I'm gonna say it nonetheless. Uh, I I had a Catholic crush. I had a huge crush on a Catholic girl, and I was acknowledging that rift between uh kind of ways in terms of viewing the world, and Me being me, I'll always set out to do something, but I'll never show it as it is. I'll always find some ways to abstract it. I got to remain gangster. I'm sorry, I must stay gangster. So in all of this, I abstracted it in with a bet that I made with another guy, and the bet was like, "Oh, come for jiu-jitsu. I'll do Catholic mass." But as much as I wanted him to come for jiu-jitsu, I'll always say the bigger reasoning was to learn more, and I did a couple of Catholic masses, which for me was such also somewhat of a revelation. Is it revelation or anything? But was something new. As already mentioned earlier, I was born baptized Methodist, and this was like my third Christian denomination that I've been to. I've been to my mom's church, my aunt's church, and this church. So for me, it was the first time I was like a normal church service. The guy comes in robes. Oh, that's wild. Because usually like reverends don't usually go full robes every time. Like normal church services, they'll just probably have that I forget what it's called, like that collar that shows that might a part of the clergy, the clerical collar. I forgot the name of it. So and also I was like, oh, they're walking in, and for me it's just like all of this new stuff, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on? We kneeling, we bowing, or we're gonna recite this creed? And I was just there, I was fascinated. I was fascinated, and I remember watching a YouTube video trying to break down and trying to understand the whole Catholic Mass. And I watched a video by Father Macbeard, probably one of my favorite homilies to this day, where he was describing the Mass. I urge you to look it up. I'll probably put it in the video description. And that was just Macbeard trying to break down the symbolism behind a lot of what goes on in the Mass in terms of like how the priests walk in, where the tabernacle is placed, why certain old architecture and certain cathedrals look certain ways. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the structure behind it kind of like also made me kind of grow in a bit of for a liking for Catholicism. But I also had to learn. I had to learn. I liked the mass. I liked the activity. But now I'm like, I have to learn more. And I'm like, okay, I kind of like Judaism. I can totally convert, but I can be a Noahide. I have Catholicism. So right there and there, the internal debates begin. And right there and there, internal debates on the various schisms begin, on the Reformation, on everything. And I've just been finding my head overloaded with this internal dialogues from within Christianity, from outside Christianity, from within Judaism, from outside Judaism, and just going and going and going. I'm like, I've went from point zero, and I've traveled a lot, but I feel like now I'm back at point zero in terms of displacement, and I'm like, I still do not know. I really don't, and a huge part of me not knowing is maybe it's my lack of faith, but I'm like, I have reservations for the other person possibly being correct and me possibly being wrong. I do not know if that's a good thing, because I'm like, okay, I hear you. I may not agree, but I may be the one wrong. And also, the one thing that always stopped me, even after coming out of my strong atheist times, one thing that always stopped me at like a religious agnostic point was interpretation. We are all interpreting this different ways, which is one thing that I liked about Judaism was you have oral Torah, and you have the Torah. Oral Torah is the Talmud, but in terms of interpretation, it's debatable, and anybody can raise any issue and be like, guys, I do not agree with this, and then debate it over and over and over again. And I bumped into certain stuff in terms of interpretation, like everybody's disagreeing over interpretation. I'm like, clearly, we all men at the end of the day. I don't think no one has a clear interpretation. Granted, some people believe that they have had divine revelation over it, and I'm like, okay, I get you. And it's been a battle, but a battle that I'll have to internally put to rest and stand firm in my own way. Not that I'm not going to change my mind, but I have to draw a line and stand and be like, okay, here I am at, and if anything happen, I'm willing to move. I'm not like digging myself onto the ground. I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm still somewhat religiously agnostic. I do not know. Too many interpretations, too many views. I do not know, guys. But for now, I'm going to use the good that I get from all the systems, all the religious systems, and I'll try to apply that good throughout life, and if it doesn't work out, ultimately it doesn't work out, but I'm like, okay, because there are things that I hold quite dearly in Judaism, and there's some things I'm quite fond of in Christianity, and even in Islam. I find no gambling quite nice. Gambling being haram. I like that one. I think it's So I wish I could. I'm not choosing this stance to the point where I'm like, oh hey, I wish I could just pick and stand. But I don't know. Maybe a time will come when that happens. Because I remember after learning a bit more, the first time I was learning a bit more, I was probably learning a bit of Torah the night before, and then the following day I went for Catholic Mass. And it was one of the toughest things. I was like, I could just feel the cognitive dissonance like within me. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And it was a bit tough. But it's something that I'll have to deal with. One of my favorite Catholic priests, Fr Mike Schmitz, has beautiful homily on the cross you have to bear. We all have crosses to bear. Some are good crosses and some are bad crosses. I don't know if there's a good or bad cross, but ultimately you have to bear the cross and the weight of it, because it's life in essence. It's never a smooth sailing. It's never perfect. But either way, that was just my ramble. I don't think I'll publicize this one. I'm just gonna put it there, and those who find it, find it. Yeah.